I've got urgent news for you. Coinbase suffers a massive data breach, and the hackers are calling for a $20 million ransom. This is not good. I'll share the details, what Coinbase CEO is saying, and what you can do to protect yourself. And Mastercard is making another big move in crypto, partnering with Tether. And the SEC versus Ripple is having some issues with its resolution as Judge Torres is pushing back. I'll share the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, breaking news, Coinbase has suffered a data breach. So essentially, if you are a Coinbase customer, your name, address, phone number, email address, and other data has been leaked. Now, Coinbase, they tweeted out the following, saying cyber criminals bribed and recruited rogue overseas support agents to pull personal data on less than 1% of Coinbase customers. No passwords, private keys, or funds were exposed. Prime accounts are untouched. We will reimburse impacted customers. Now, they continued here saying, we will pursue the harshest penalties possible and will not pay the $20 million ransom demand we received. Instead, we are establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the criminals responsible for this attack. Folks, this is not good. However, Coinbase is going to reimburse the customers who lost their funds. Last week, I told you guys I've been getting a lot of spam calls, spam emails, spam texts saying my Coinbase account was hacked and much more. And when I reported that to you guys, I told you to be careful. Don't click on anything. Don't get emotional. Don't panic if you get those texts because they are created in a way to trigger you and to get an emotional response where you don't think first, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people fell for this. In fact, the reports are coming out that Coinbase customers lost $300 million through these social engineering scams. And last week, I reported that on-chain sleuth Zach XBT was reporting about $45 million was lost. Well, that number increased. So if you are a Coinbase user and you are getting those texts and emails and getting bombarded, this is the reason why. This data was leaked by the overseas customer support person or persons. And unfortunately, this is really bad. And Coinbase CEO, shout out to him though, Brian Armstrong, he put out a video addressing it. And let me play a clip for you here.
Hey everyone, I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying, no, we are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or private keys or funds accessed as part of this. But customer support agents do have access to personal information like name, date of birth, address, etc. And attackers still want access to this information because it allows them to conduct social engineering attacks where they can call our customers, impersonating Coinbase customer support, and try to trick them into sending their funds to the attacker. Now, unfortunately, they were able to find a few bad apples. Our systems are designed to mitigate the impact of something like this, so less than 1% of our monthly transacting users had their records accessed, but this is still unacceptable. And I want to tell you what we're doing about it. So first, any customers that were socially engineered as a result of this incident, we're going to reimburse them. There's more details on our website, on our blog post about the reimbursement process. You can read more there. Any customers who have been impacted by this or have been notified at this point. Number two, we're hardening our systems around customer support to make something like this much more difficult in the future. And third, we're actually relocating some of our customer support operations as a result of this. But the last step is maybe the most important, which is that instead of paying this $20 million ransom, we're turning it around. And we're putting out a $20 million award for any information leading to the arrest and conviction of these attackers. For these would-be extortionists or anyone seeking to harm Coinbase customers, know that we will prosecute you and bring you to justice. And now you have my answer.
So really great update here from Brian. Transparency, they're not giving in to the ransom. The hackers, they want $20 million in Bitcoin. This is crazy. So folks, what you need to do, make sure your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted here. Do not click on any links or any emails that look suspicious, that your account's been hacked and this and that. Do not call any numbers. Do not reply to any texts. I've been blocking them and reporting them as spam. And if I have any concern or questions, I go directly to my Coinbase account. Now, many of you know, I believe in self-custody. I put the majority of my crypto on hardware wallets. And I've been on the record saying this for years and years and years. Don't leave your coins on the exchanges. And I'm a user of the Treasury Safe 5. This is a beautiful hardware wallet that makes it easy to safely store your crypto. Trezor is a sponsor of this podcast, but I think it's timely here. So if you are keeping all your coins on an exchange, I highly recommend you get a hardware wallet like the Trezor Safe 5. Put your coins on here and put it in a safe in your home or a safety deposit box. And guess what? You can sleep at night. You don't have to worry. I do have exchange accounts because I swing trade. So I have a little bit of a crypto on the exchanges like Coinbase and others, and I swing trade. But the majority of my holdings are on hardware wallets, folks. And the private keys are backed up and all that stuff. So I can sleep at night. If anybody tries to go into my Coinbase account, you're not going to get anything. Like, okay, you got some money, but you're not getting like all my crypto holdings. So this is why I use Trezor, folks. And they've been at this since 2013. They're the ones that created the hardware wallet. It's open source and they support all the major coins, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and so forth, even new coins like BlackRock's BUIDL. So I highly recommend, folks, that you get a hardware wallet, and you can get a 5% discount by using the code ThinkingCrypto, all one word. So check out the link in the description to learn about Trezor's products. So folks, keep an eye out. Watch your emails. Don't click on stuff that look fishy. Make sure you double check those emails. And obviously don't, if you pick up a call and they say they're from Coinbase, immediately block the hell out of it. And those texts that come through, don't click on anything, don't call on anything, just report it as spam and block the numbers. That is what I've been doing. So protect yourself. Now, this could happen to other exchanges as well, Kraken and others, because this was not a breach of the security system, but essentially they compromised an employee overseas, and they probably gave them a ton of money, right? More than they usually make, because many of them are probably making minimum wage, just answering calls and stuff like that. So it really sucks. But I hope the crypto industry is able to use the blockchain technology and start putting different data on the blockchain where it can't be compromised, right? It has to be multiple layers of security. So hopefully we can get there, but this really sucks. I mean, just protect yourself and watch out. Again, it can happen to other exchanges as well. And I have accounts with all the major exchanges, Uphold, Kraken, Crypto.com, because I use them as on and off ramps. If one exchange or two exchanges go down or they're having issues due to traffic, I can go to other exchanges. So that's why I have these accounts. So just be careful, folks, and watch out even for regular mail, because these scammers have your physical address. They can send you mail and, tell you to do stuff. So just watch out, be careful, be skeptical of anything. And if you get something that says, oh, you just lost your funds or whatever, don't panic. Don't have an emotional reaction. Slow down, take a deep breath, and then slowly go through the process and double check everything. And don't click on links, right? Just go directly to the app or the website and log in and just check everything first before you go down any path of calling anybody or clicking on any links. It's very important, folks. It would really suck to lose your funds, but Shout out to Coinbase that they are going to reimburse folks who've lost their funds and they're going after these scammers and they're putting out the reward out there. All right, moving ahead, huge update. Mastercard has partnered with MoonPay, and this is to enable stablecoin payments and spending at 150 million global businesses. We are seeing all the big credit card companies integrating stablecoins. Visa is doing the same thing with USDC. And what's interesting, Mastercard is using USDT. The card itself has USDT branded on it. What a time to be alive. We are seeing incredible adoption of crypto from TradFi giants, whether they're banks, credit card companies, stock exchange, and much more. Mastercard tweeted out stablecoins meet 150 million plus checkout counters. Enterprises and fintechs can now offer Mastercard branded cards linked to consumers' stablecoin balances, unlocking new ways to pay and be paid. In partnership with MoonPay, we're combining our trusted global payments network and advanced stablecoin infrastructure to bring seamless, secure digital assets payments to life. Folks, this is why I'm bullish. You are just seeing capitulation on many fronts. Years ago, many of the folks at these companies were saying, this is nothing, blockchain, blah, 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 crypto, blah, blah, blah. Now they're all in a race to adopt the technology. It's incredible. This paradigm shift continues to amaze me. Moving ahead, we have a big company out in Brazil that is adding Bitcoin to its treasury. And I've been saying this trend is not going to die down. And it's a global movement where these companies are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet to protect their cash reserves and to grow it as well, to outpace debasement and inflation. So Meliuz, if I'm saying that right, buys $28.4 million of Bitcoin, becoming Brazil's first Bitcoin treasury company. You're going to see a lot of companies in different countries do this, folks. Okay, moving ahead, some not so good news in the SEC versus Ripple case. Many of you know the SEC and Ripple have settled. XRP was deemed not a security intrinsically by Judge Torres, and this case is pretty much wrapped up. However, Judge Torres is not making it easy for both the SEC and Ripple to fix this. So Judge Torres has denied the party's motion for an indicative ruling, saying if jurisdiction were restored to this court, the court would deny the party's motion as procedurally improper. Now, attorney Fred Rispoli said, the meaning here is that the parties didn't request relief under the right rule of civil procedure, so they will refile it under the correct rule. But me reading between the lines is that Ripple and the SEC need to get on all fours and beg for relief. So they're going to have to really get the judge to address this. Now, is this something detrimental to the market or XRP? Of course not, because XRP's been moving without all of this stuff being done, even before we got this news, because the market already sees the direction we're heading in. The settlement is there with the SEC, so there's no dark cloud and worry and ambiguity and all that, right? And the SEC lost when it comes to, is XRP intrinsically a security? And that was the major issue, right? Secondary sales are not securities. So it's clear as day out there, but you want to get all the legal loose ends tied up, which is things like this. But the good thing is the SEC is working with Ripple. So it's not like the SEC is going against Ripple. Eleanor Terrett says, after speaking with my 3 legal sources and tuning into John Deaton's live analysis, my read is that Judge Torres is playing hardball here. She's not making it easy for the parties to simply walk away. Instead, she'll make them work for it. Deaton raises a valid point. From Torres's perspective, the SEC has spent the past 5 years doubling down on a narrative and legal strategy that resulted in thousands of hours of legal and judicial manpower, only for the agency to suggest that those 5 years were essentially a waste. While Torres has denied their initial requests, she's outlined a clear path forward, provided the SEC and Ripple can meet the legal standards and present a compelling case that withdrawing her ruling is in the best interest of the public and institutional buyers of XRP. Stuart Alderati, which is Ripple's chief legal officer, mentioned Ripple will work with the SEC to revisit the issue together. Pretty wild considering they've been on opposite sides for nearly 5 years. It'll be even more interesting to see if Torres eases up once they've done the necessary work, or if she sticks to her guns and makes this even more of a political fight. So this could be a little bit messy. I do think that she will ultimately uh, do the right thing here, because if the SEC is working Ripple, and I think they'll do it. But as attorney Fred Rispoli was saying, they're going to have to beg. They're going to have to put some work in, right? They're going to have to come in and saying, please, judge, please, right? And keep at it. But I think, guys, this thing is done, right? It's just tying up the loose ends, and eventually Judge Torres will get there. But just an FYI on what's happening here. Now, this is interesting. Dave Portnoy. Now, I don't take financial advice from Dave Portnoy, but the reason why I'm sharing this with you, he was at Consensus, and the information he's putting out there is for the masses, essentially, not for us who are educated and do our research, right? We don't take our investment advice from Dave Portnoy. We look at the charts, we look at the on-chain data, we look at the macro. So I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not sharing this to say, oh, look at Dave Portnoy, he's the best, but he represents retail and the mentality of retail, right? Who may not be as educated about crypto, but they are jumping into the market. And, he was asked, why do you own XRP? And he said, FOMO. It's not like I have some grand belief in it. It's what, $2, $2.40. What if that's the next Bitcoin? Let me play the clip here for you.
I remember I was trying to buy an apartment in Miami, and I got outbid by a crypto bro. And I'm just like, that bastard. Yeah, he just bought, he heard about Bitcoin when it was, I don't know, $8, $7. It's up on 100. I've slaved for 20 years, and he just outbid. So yes, there's 100% of FOMO on everything. I think that's the meme coin. That's general. I mean, I don't know, Bitcoin. I don't know if there's as much FOMO now. It's so established, but like that's why I'm in XRP. Like that it's FOMO. It's not like I have some grand belief in it, but it's what, $2.40 or something like that. It's like, what if that's the next Bitcoin? So FOMO, I think, plays a huge part.
So interesting statements, right? And once again, this is not for you and I. We're not sitting here, oh, Dave Portnoy, give us more financial advice. That's not what this is about. He represents, once again, that crowd. He has a huge following, well known. So imagine the normies that are listening to him and what they're going to do and how XRP has performed. And I've been seeing a lot of retail FOMO, as he mentioned. So it's interesting. And I do believe XRP will continue to do well in this bull market for many different reasons, but FOMO, certainly one of them. So, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. I know it's not all great news, and the Coinbase news is a bummer, but at least they're doing the right thing and making customers whole and so forth. So, folks, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. A great way you can support me if you appreciate this content is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.